Hey friends, welcome back to Kat's Kitchen. I'm so glad you guys are back here with me. I have a fried, a play on fried rice recipe here. It's going to be an Italian sausage fried rice. I'm going to show you how we work this. And this is kind of my own made up recipe based on what I have on hand. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to saute up my Italian sausage in my skillet. We're going to get this browning really, really nice. This is going to take a while. And then we're going to move on to our next steps. I want to make sure that this sausage literally cooks till it's nice, brown, and crispy. I don't want it to poach, as it were, in the fat. So we're going to leave the lid off for this process. Let this cook on about a medium to mid-high heat. And then we'll just keep crumbling it up until it gets nice and brown and delicious. We're trying to create the Maillard reaction whenever we cook it like this, because whenever you cook it to the point where the meat literally turns brown and not just a darker color, it's actually physically brown and it sticks a little bit to the pan, that's your Maillard reaction, and that's where we're going to get a lot of the flavor from. This process probably took a good 35 to 40 minutes. I'm showing you here, it's just starting to brown, but I really want to get it to that dark, crispy, consistency here. So that's what we're looking for. And that's what's really going to make our flavors pop. You can use any type of sausage that you like. Everything from, there's chicken sausage, turkey sausage, pork sausage. Let me know if there's a beef sausage that you know of. I haven't seen that, but I'm sure that you could probably make sausage out of just anything. It's a matter of how you grind it and how you season it. That's the way I understand it anyway. Alrighty, so here I'm showing you I'm washing my rice. Washing rice is really easy. You just want to wash it, rinse it a few times, and you want to agitate it a little bit until the starches start to come off of the rice granules. I usually do this about 2 to 3 times. If you're really trying to be particular, you can continue to wash and rinse it until the water runs completely clear. But usually when I've made rice, and this is one of the best times that I've made rice on this day, I'm still learning how to make rice properly because I don't use a steamer or anything. I only use the stove top. I washed the rice, I believe, twice on this day. And here I'm showing you there. That's what it looks like. And then we're going to get this rice on the stove top. Now, if you'd like to go ahead and use your rice steamer, or I know some people like to use their Instant Pot nowadays for cooking rice, it's perfectly fine. What I'm doing here is I'm just trying to par cook the rice in a pot on the stove, and then we're going to add it to our fried rice to finish cooking the rest of the way. So I'm adding in some water and butter, and then we're going to season it with some salt for our rice. And I believe I did 1 cup of rice to 1 cup of water. So 1-to-1 ratio on this one because I didn't want it to be a sticky rice. The butter really did help flavor it as well. So butter and salt are definitely a winner when it comes to cooking rice. Sometimes I'll add in a splash of white vinegar. And then we're just going to pop the lid on. I've got this on about a medium for the rice in the back. And we just really just want it to come up to a little simmer and, bring it up to a little boil, then bring it back down to a simmer. And then you'll know when it's done. You'll just take a fork to it and fluff it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be 100% cooked. It can be a little al dente because then it'll finish cooking in our pan here whenever we mix everything together for the fried rice. So I'm just working our sausage here to make sure that it's not up too high. And here is our finished product. This is what you want. You want to see all those nice little brown bits in there. I have this draining on some paper towels. That's just going to sit off to the side until we need to add it into our fried rice. So here I'm showing you that our rice is now al dente and it's just fluffing with a fork, and that's what we want. And it's not a sticky rice, you can tell that. So basically when I do sticky rice, I do a 2-to-1 ratio of water to rice. But in this case, we just did 1-to-1 ratio. So here in my pan, I just have the remnants of the fat that are, dripped off of our sausage, our little drippings. We're going to use this to make some incredible flavor. I did pour out a little bit of the fat, but really this is pretty lean because we got this from our local farm. So that was a blessing. We were able to get that. And I'm just putting in some chopped onions in here first. I'm going to let these caramelize. And I was debating on putting it all in, and I was like, yeah, let's put it all in because that would be about the size of one medium white onion. We're going to let these saute. These are going to take a little while here. I've got this on about a mid heat. We're going to salt and pepper them. The salt will help draw the moisture out of them so that they'll caramelize a lot faster for you. And this process here takes roughly about anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how many onions you're going to use. Alrighty, so now we're going to work with the rest of our veg. So I have some sweet bell pepper here. We're going to chop these up about the same size as the onions are, maybe a little bit bigger. And you can see how I'm cutting around the core there. That way we don't have any waste. And I'm just going to add that to my compost for the garden. Anytime you're doing like a stir fry or like a fried rice or something like this, cut your vegetables a little bit larger than what you think you'll need, and that way they don't overcook. Because when you think about getting ordering that food out, they usually cut their vegetables fairly large because it's stir fried, it's cooked on a high heat, but at a very short time. So cutting your vegetables like that at home will help you achieve the same results. Now I'm also here prepping some vegetables for my refrigerator for future salads. So that's what the dish is for, and I'm just saving some slices for that. And then the chopped veg is going to be for our stir fry. Now you can let your imagination run wild here with which vegetables you want to put in here. Go off of whatever your family likes or enjoys. You could do anything from broccoli, cauliflower, corn, carrots, the bell peppers, the onions, like what we're doing here. There's so many different options and combinations. And if you're in a pinch, you can just put a bag of frozen mixed vegetables in here too. If you are going to use a bag of frozen mixed vegetables or frozen vegetables in general, say it's broccoli or whatnot, I would just recommend not putting them in just yet. Wait until maybe about 10 minutes before the cooking process is complete. That way you don't overcook your veggies. So here I'm just utilizing what I have in my refrigerator. I've already put my bell pepper in the pan with the onions, and now I'm slicing up on a bias some baby carrots And that's just because what I had there, but I wanted that extra texture, the flavor, and the nutrition. I'm someone that likes to have anywhere between 2 to 3 veggie combo per meal. That's just the way I like to, serve things up, especially being gluten free, not having the gluten. I like to supplement in other areas, and veggies are my best friend, really. So this turned out really, really well. Just to report to you from the future, Mark really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. We had this portion that we're making. I believe it would have, if I calculated correctly, thinking back, I believe it would have fed about 5 people comfortably. So that's a really big win here for 1 cup of rice and 1 pound of sausage, and then the rest are vegetables. So that's a big win there economically as well. So you saw there, I just seasoned our veggies in the pan with some salt and pepper, mixed them up, and I put our lid on there. And that lid is going to help steam those veggies so that they cook a little faster. If you want this to move a little bit faster, you could pre-cook your meat the night before and save the fat from that pan. That way you can use it in the cooking the day of that you want to cook this. That would be a little bit more efficient for a weeknight meal. So just a little tip there. So here I've got some cherry tomatoes, and we're going to slice these. I'm removing these from my colander. I've already washed them. And I'm just putting the carrots that we're not going to use in my little container for lunches. And then we're taking the tomatoes, we're just slicing them in half. And then we're going to add this also to our veggie mix in the skillet. But your tomatoes don't really, they just need to blister. We don't really need to cook them too long. That's another element that you can add in a little bit later. So all I'm doing here is just prepping a little bit more of my veggies that are in the refrigerator for salads. I like to do this once a week. That way I have fresh veggies to munch on, add to meals, or just make a fast salad. That's one way that I've known, with how busy I am, to make things a little healthier is to have healthy food readily available. And even if I don't have a side veggie, I'll pull out some of these veggies and we'll just eat them along with the meal, and, maybe a little dressing or whatnot, and that works out just great. Alrighty, friends, so at this point we have all of our veggies in along with our rice. And I'm just giving this a nice good stir here. And you can see it's sticking a little bit on the bottom, but that's perfectly fine. That's kind of what we want. I haven't added any extra fat into this pan. And I've been cooking it with the lid on because I want the rest of the cooking time for the rice and the veggies to continue. So now we're at the point, we're nearing the end here where I'm going to add in our protein. And we're just going to finish this up here with a little bit of a sauce, and then we'll be good to go. You want to add your protein in pretty much just the last few minutes of your cook time. Now, if you're using a wok for this, which is a completely different type of cooking, you're going to be cooking on extremely high heat, but for a very short time. And fried rice is, traditionally cooked in a wok. So if you have a wok, you can definitely do that as well. This process will go significantly faster. But I'm just working with what I have, and honestly, this turned out really, really tasty too. We're just going to give this a really, really good mix, And then we're going to mix up our sauce that we're going to pour on top of here. And I'm always tasting just to make sure that the seasoning is on point, making sure everything works well together because we season all the way through the cooking. We don't just season the beginning or the end. And this is where I realized that we definitely need a little bit of a sauce to bring it some more flavor. So that's whenever we're going to mix that up here. Alrighty, so our sauce I just made up, I had roughly about 3 tablespoons of hoisin sauce with about 2 teaspoons of fish sauce and 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. If I had some soy sauce, I didn't unfortunately on this day. I probably would have added in about 2 teaspoons of soy sauce to the mix here, so that would round out the flavor here. But from what I had, it was really, really nice. We're just going to mix this through, and everything is pretty much done cooking at this point. And I don't want this to overcook, so I end up moving this off of the heat until we're ready to eat, which we were pretty much ready. I just wanted to make sure. Anytime something is done cooking, I always move it off of the heat so that, it doesn't continue to cook and then overcook your dish. Alrighty, so we're going to give this another little sample here just to make sure that now that the sauce is on there, everything is up to par. If you need to add any additional seasonings, now's the time to do it. And if you do add any additional seasonings, I would just recommend putting the lid back on for a little bit and just kind of letting that seasoning cook into the dish. Alrighty, so here is what it looks like all together and all finished. This was really super tasty. I just topped it with a little bit of avocado here, you can see. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye-bye, friends.